What if your cat was silently trying to say goodbye, and you missed the signs? Cats are masters of hiding pain, sometimes too good at it. What looks like a lazy nap, a skipped meal, or a quiet moment alone might actually be one of the final warnings. But here's the truth. When the end is near, they do leave clues. And missing them isn't just heartbreaking. It can also rob you of the chance to say goodbye the right way. That's why in this video, we're revealing 15 critical signs that your cat may be nearing the end of their life. So, if you're ready to uncover what no one talks about until it's too late, you're in the right place. Let's begin. Number 15. Dinner bowl left untouched. Have you ever seen your feline turn their nose up at everything, even that expensive tuna treat they used to beg for? What if that silence at the food bowl isn't just pickiness, but a signal of something deeper? When a cat suddenly stops eating, it's not a phase. It's their body beginning to shut down vital systems. Just like with humans facing major illness, appetite is often the first thing to disappear. But with cats, who are masters at masking pain, this is one of the earliest and clearest signs that something is seriously wrong. Whether it's kidney failure, advanced cancer, or internal organ stress, a cat that's refusing food for more than 24 hours is waving a red flag. And here's the twist. Many cat parents think it's just a mood, but in reality, it could be a countdown quietly ticking. Before you even notice weight loss or lethargy, the stomach stops responding, and the spiral begins. Now, what happens when that loss of appetite starts turning into something more visible? Number 14. Shrinking without a diet. Have you ever noticed how a cat's weight seems to change quietly, almost like it's slipping away, when you're not looking? What if that shrinking frame was more than just aging or being picky with food? Here's the truth. When a feline companion loses over 10% of their body weight within a matter of weeks, it's not just concerning, it's critical. This kind of rapid decline is the body's distress signal. It often points to something deep within: failing kidneys, cancer, hyperthyroidism, or even diabetes left unmanaged. Unlike humans, who might vocalize pain or fatigue, cats suffer silently. So weight loss becomes one of their only outward cries for help. And the tricky part? Their fluff can mask the loss until it's already severe. Regular weigh-ins aren't just for fun. They're how you track a life you love. So when that number drops too quickly, it's time to listen closely. Because right after the body shrinks, the energy disappears, and that brings us to a sign you can't ignore. Number 13. Sleeping through the world. Have you ever noticed your feline friend suddenly becoming a couch potato, sleeping more than usual, barely moving? While it's normal for cats to nap a lot, extreme lethargy can be a warning sign that something more serious is happening. Imagine a person who just can't get out of bed, no matter how hard they try. It's the body's way of saying, "I need help." When a cat shows little interest in food, play, or interaction, it's often a result of severe internal distress. This could be due to infections, organ failure, or even cancer. Their body is shutting down and they're conserving energy. As difficult as it is to see, it's their way of withdrawing because they're feeling overwhelmed by pain or illness. While it's hard to accept, this change is a red flag. This behavior could signal a need for medical intervention, or perhaps it's just the first step in the process of their health decline. Next up, let's talk about a different behavior. Number 12. Constant hiding. Have you ever wondered if your cat is trying to tell you something when they go into hiding for days on end? When your feline friend suddenly starts disappearing for hours or even days? It's not just a quirk. Healthy cats may occasionally seek a quiet spot when they're feeling under the weather, but if they consistently retreat to a hidden place, this is a critical warning sign. Think about it like us humans. When we're really struggling, we often want to be alone. It's the same for them. When a cat becomes weak or in pain, their instinct is to withdraw into solitude, often signaling the final stages of life. And if it happens suddenly, without any clear cause, it could mean they're reaching their limits. This behavior might be triggered by a serious illness, extreme fatigue, or even the body's natural way of preparing to pass. No matter the reason, it's something that shouldn't be ignored. If this sounds familiar, stick with us, because the next sign is just as important and even more revealing. Number 11. Inconsistent litter box use. Ever wonder if your cat is trying to tell you something but you're not sure what it is? One of the most significant signs that something is wrong comes when your feline friend starts avoiding the litter box. Whether it's due to a urinary tract issue, kidney failure, or just severe pain, this sudden change is a red flag. Think of it like a person avoiding a bathroom because it's too painful to sit down. Cats are creatures of habit, and if they stop using the litter box, it means they're in distress. Sometimes they'll even try to go elsewhere, which can be frustrating for both of you. This behavior could be a warning that their health is in serious decline. We can compare this to a human who starts avoiding regular activities due to exhaustion or illness. They simply can't do it anymore. So if you see this happening, don't ignore it. It might be time for a vet visit. And just like skipping the litter box can signal pain, the next sign can also show just how much they're struggling. Number 10. Poor grooming and matted coat. Ever notice how a cat's grooming routine is almost sacred to them? They're meticulous creatures. So, when your feline companion starts neglecting their fur, it's a clear sign something's off. Imagine yourself feeling too weak or out of sorts to maintain your hygiene. Pretty unsettling, right? Well, that's what it's like for them. A sudden shift in their grooming habits could mean they're too tired, disoriented, or in pain to care for themselves. Cats instinctively groom to soothe and comfort themselves, so when that goes away, it's a red flag. This isn't just laziness. Something deeper is happening. Whether it's due to an illness or the body's inability to keep up, it's time to pay close attention. If any of these signs hit close to home and made you pause, like, why didn't I know this earlier? You're definitely not the only one. Navigating the final stages of a cat's life is heartbreaking, confusing, and full of quiet moments we often don't talk about. So, what was the moment that made you realize something deeper was going on with your beloved feline? Share it in the comments. We read every word, and your stories help others feel less alone in those tough goodbyes. These are the moments no one prepares you for, but together we can make sense of them when we pay attention to such signs. And speaking of things you might notice, when your furry friend starts breathing with difficulty, it's another sign their body is struggling. Number 9. Breaths you can hear. Across the room, have you ever noticed your cat breathing strangely? Perhaps gasping for air or taking shallow breaths like they're struggling? It's not something that should be brushed off as just another odd moment. When a cat has labored or shallow breathing, it's often a sign of serious trouble, like heart failure, lung disease, or severe infection. Imagine if you were struggling to catch your breath. It's terrifying, right? Cats don't always show pain in obvious ways, so these subtle signs are their way of telling us that something's seriously wrong. This kind of breathing distress indicates that their body is fighting hard to survive, and it's a clear red flag that immediate attention is needed. If you're seeing your furry friend in this state, time is of the essence. But that's not all. There are even more signs that can be more shocking, like a sudden yellowing of a part of their body. Let's explore this next, because it's a big one. Number 8. Jaundice, yellow skin and gums. Have you ever noticed your cat's gums or skin turning yellow? It's one of those subtle signs that often goes unnoticed, but it can be a major warning. When your feline's eyes, gums, or even skin develop a yellowish tint, it's a clear sign of jaundice. This isn't just a cosmetic issue. It's a serious health concern indicating liver failure or hemolytic anemia. Think of it like when we feel sluggish or jaundiced ourselves. Something's not right inside, and the body is showing you it needs help. If left untreated, this can lead to life-threatening conditions that progress rapidly. Just like humans, cats rely on their liver to detoxify their body, and when it starts to fail, everything else starts to shut down. So, if you spot any yellowing in their skin, gums, or eyes, it's time to act quickly. You don't want to miss the early stages of something that can spiral out of control. And speaking of signs you can't ignore, let's talk about Number 7. Seizures or tremors. What would you do if your cat suddenly started trembling or having seizures? It's terrifying, right? But here's the thing. When a feline begins to experience seizures or tremors, it's a clear sign that something serious is happening inside their body. Whether it's from toxins, an infection, or even a brain tumor, these neurological events often occur in the later stages of an illness. Just like us, when the body is overwhelmed, it sends signals like these: uncontrolled shaking or seizing as a last-ditch attempt to cope. While it may seem sudden, this can actually be a crucial warning sign that something much deeper is going on. And what makes it even scarier is that seizures are often accompanied by other symptoms, leading to a grim realization. The good news is, catching it early and seeking medical attention immediately can make all the difference in your kitty's recovery. But what about the symptoms leading up to this? Number 6. Persistent vomiting or diarrhea. Ever wondered why a cat might vomit or have diarrhea for days, even when they're not actively sick? While it might seem like something simple, persistent vomiting or diarrhea is a serious signal. Just like how we feel weak and dehydrated after an illness, cats are incredibly vulnerable when their digestive system is in distress for extended periods. This ongoing issue can lead to severe dehydration, a dangerous electrolyte imbalance, and in some cases, it can even be life-threatening. Why does this happen? It could be a sign of infection, toxins, or organ failure, all of which can be harder to detect early on. The body is telling you that it's struggling to maintain balance, and without intervention, the effects can be devastating. If you notice your feline companion having repeated episodes of vomiting or diarrhea that don't resolve, it's time to pay close attention. The damage can be sneaky, affecting them silently over time. So, what happens when dehydration sets in? Let's take a look at the next sign. Number 5. Severe dehydration. Have you noticed your furry friend drinking less water than usual? Or maybe their skin doesn't spring back like it used to? This could be a sign of severe dehydration. When a cat's body is no longer able to properly regulate fluids, it's often a signal of organ failure in the making. You'll notice things like skin that stays tented when pinched, or gums that feel dry and tacky. Think of it like when we humans start feeling weak and dizzy from dehydration. Except for a cat, it can be far more critical. Dehydration isn't just uncomfortable, it's dangerous. If left untreated, it can lead to a rapid decline in your pet's health, making everything from kidney failure to circulatory issues much worse. It's a clear warning sign that something is wrong, and immediate action is required. If this sounds familiar, you're already on the right track by noticing the signs. But what about when your cat's gums start showing some alarming colors? That's coming up next. Number 4. Pale or bluish gums. Have you ever noticed a slight change in your cat's gums? You might think it's just a quirky color, but when your feline's gums turn pale or bluish, it's a serious red flag. Just like humans can feel fatigued and dizzy when they're anemic, cats too experience that same blood circulation issue. Pale or bluish gums signal poor oxygenation or anemia, often a result of heart or lung problems. Their circulatory system is struggling, unable to deliver the blood their body needs to stay healthy. This is a sign that their internal organs are failing to work properly, and it requires immediate attention. If you've ever been winded after a quick sprint, you'll understand just how vital it is for the body to get oxygen to function well. Your cat, however, can't just take a break and catch their breath. They rely on you to notice when something's off. And this doesn't always stop there. Sometimes it leads to something even more alarming. Number 3. Sudden blindness or sensory loss. Have you ever wondered how your cat's world would change if they couldn't see or hear anymore? Imagine suddenly losing your senses. You'd feel disoriented, confused, and vulnerable. For your furry friend, sudden blindness or loss of hearing is just as alarming. It's a sign that something much more serious could be at play. Whether it's a stroke, a severe infection, or an end-stage disease, a cat that loses its coordination or senses overnight is in critical distress. This can also show that the body's systems are failing, and the usual playful, independent spirit begins to fade. While we tend to take our senses for granted for a cat, this loss can happen rapidly and without warning. And just like humans, a cat who suddenly can't interact with the world in the same way can feel trapped in their own body, which can be terrifying for them. As heartbreaking as this is, it's important to be aware, so you can provide them comfort. Now let's talk about the next alarming sign. Number 2. Collapse or inability to stand. Have you ever seen a feline try to stand and fail, as if gravity suddenly became too heavy? It's not clumsiness. When a cat collapses or struggles to stay upright, something serious is happening inside. By the time their body can't support its own weight, their muscles aren't just tired, they're depleted. Organs like the heart and kidneys are often in the final stages of shutdown. It's like watching the lights flicker in a house right before they go out completely. Unlike humans, who might vocalize pain or confusion, a cat often stays silent in their suffering. That quiet fall to the ground is sometimes the only alarm bell you get. And when it happens, you're not looking at a symptom. You're staring at the body's last stand. It could be hours, maybe minutes, but the clock is ticking. And yet, even in their weakest moment, a cat still holds onto one last instinct, one final act of quiet dignity. Which brings us to the most heartbreaking sign of all, their search for a place to disappear. Number 1. Final retreat to a death spot. Have you ever noticed your kitty vanish into a closet or behind the couch and stay there for hours, maybe days? What if that hiding spot wasn't just cozy, but a final goodbye? When a cat feels the end is near, something ancient kicks in. Even the most affectionate felines will quietly slip away to a dark, undisturbed place. It's not fear, it's instinct. In the wild, a sick or dying animal avoids predators by hiding, and that behavior hasn't left our modern-day mousers. This retreat isn't random. It's deeply intentional. Unlike humans who might cry out or seek comfort, a cat goes silent. Their stillness speaks volumes. You may find them tucked beneath the bed, inside a closet, or even under the porch. Anywhere. Quiet, cool, and far from noise. If they refuse to come out, even for food or your voice, it's not stubbornness. It's an act surrender. If this gave you clarity during a tough time, give this video a like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you're never alone in caring for your feline companion. We're here with you, through the joy, the worry, and the love that never fades.